I don't know, Justine. I don't know if it was the countdown. Maybe New York City was taking the countdown away from the countdown. I don't know if it was for you, but it was a little distorted for me. But Justine, before I let you start, let me just tell you all. I wanted to know, okay? Put a five in the chat if you've ever seen the New Year's Eve ball like live in person. If you ever seen it, put a five in the chat because first time ever in my life, my daughter has like she is so like I love her to death. I love her. I'm like, Bill, there's the ball. It's right there. Let's get a picture. Let's get a selfie. It's right there. For 47 years, all I've never seen it. She's 13 and she's got to see the ball. I was like, I've never seen this, Brielle. I've only seen it on TV for as long as I remember, and it was like the most amazing thing in the world. So I don't know if you've ever seen the ball. Just have you ever seen it?
I have not. No, I've only been to New York City twice, and we trekked all over the city. But no, I never have seen that. But that's amazing opportunity for her to be able to see that, and y'all experience that together. That makes me so happy.
Well, she I'm learning a little bit about my daughter here. It's been the most amazing trip all so far. And she gets overwhelmed. She's like, Dad, I didn't think it'd be like this. Like she's been to Chicago and she thought
Yeah,
it'd be like a little bit like Chicago.
it's
And
nothing.
she,
Yeah, you can't compare the two. I don't think you can compare New York City to anywhere else in the world.
it is crazy. It is crazy. And we were just thinking about it. I haven't been to New York City. I used to live right here in Hoboken, New Jersey, and I used to come down here with the World Trade Center. My buddy used to work here, and unfortunately, I've lost some friends from college and at the World Trade Center. And it's been a while since
Wow.
we've calculated it out. I was talking to my ex-wife and her mother, and she's like, "You never went when we were together." I said, "You're right, babe. You're right." I didn't say babe to her. I said, "You're right. You're right." But yeah, it's been probably 20 years since I've actually been in the city. And today we're going to the Broadway musical Wicked. But it's an environment, it's a place I do not would not want to live, but
Right.
the atmosphere brings it. So, anyways, I know we're not here to talk about my New York City trip, but I am here in New York City. We did make it here yesterday, so my daughter and I are here for 2 days for her Christmas gift, and just really excited to have some time. We had some dinner together, so I'm having that DAD moment. So, Justine,
I love it. I love that you guys are
good
making those
morning.
memories together. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. We've got a good crowd today, Brock. I'm so excited. I'm excited. Hello. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Wendy, Yesenia. Look at all our peeps on here. I'm excited for this, guys. Well, I am super excited because today Brock has brought on a guest. And if you guys are coming, and hopefully you all are coming to the Success Summit in Nashville for next week, actually this weekend coming up Sunday, starting Sunday off with that hockey game. So excited. But we have a special guest on for today, and I'm so excited to hear from Brian and just see where his story has come from. He is going to be one of our keynote speakers. And Brock, I'm so excited that he is on today. So let's welcome him.
Brian, good morning to you, brother. Good morning to you. Very excited to have Brian on here. And before I give him the microphone, because you all know I like to steal the microphone, I want to share with you something really that literally happened within the last 24 hours, Justine, and why this guy is going to make a huge impact in you. The way that he handles body language, the way that he handles the mind, unable to recognize certain things. So I'm very weird in the mind, and I can prove it to you. And when you come and listen to this guy, he can prove to you certain things on how he does it and what he looks at. So let me give you my little story, and then I'm going to introduce you to him. So yesterday, the dreadful thing of everything you possibly can imagine. How many of you in the last 30 to 60 days have been sick or know somebody who's gotten the flu or you've had the flu? Put a three in the chat. If you know somebody who has the flu, you've gotten the flu, you've been sick in some capacity in some way. And this is how I can prove it. So, yesterday, you can only imagine, I've been traveling a lot, doing a lot of different things. And guess what happened to me in the airport? Yes, the thought of me getting sick. And I was just like, oh no. You cannot get sick now. Like I cannot, Brock, cannot get sick with Nashville, New York, and everything. Like you cannot get sick. But like I started to get hot, I started to get nauseous, I started to get a headache. Like everything of those symptoms come into play.
Oh,
How many of you, when somebody tells you they either got lice, they got chicken pox, or they have something that you suddenly are like, oh, I think I'm getting a little itchy. I think I've gotten a scratch. Oh my goodness gracious. You don't have an itch, but your brain thinks you do because somebody near you has an itch or somebody near you has something, and so your brain operates like that. The same thing happens when you suddenly start to get sick. Yes, the power of your mind. So as soon as it happens, you can believe me, not believe me, but I know it because I've seen Brian and what he does. He's amazing on how he. This is why he goes to Inman and he travels and does freaking big, big, big events because of what he does, and it helps you with your sales. But I kept saying to myself, I'm not going to get sick. You're not going to get sick. You're perfectly fine. This is all in your head. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Guys, I woke up this morning and I'm okay. I'm fine. And so I just share with you this because the way Brian does his performance, it looks like a performance because I'm like, damn, he was showing me things yesterday. I was like, that is so cool, man. So without further ado, stealing the show from him and what he's going to be bringing to Nashville, please welcome Brian Galke from down south in Texas. I don't know where he is now. He's always traveling. I
Dallas.
know he's
Yeah, I'm home in Dallas.
Dallas. He's in Dallas. Brian, good morning, brother. How are you, man?
I'm excellent. How are you doing today?
I cannot complain at all. I'm in New York City with my daughter, as you know, and I'm just
Right.
so. Jim Morris, our mutual friend, was the one that
Hmm.
connected us a couple of years ago,
Right.
and he's like, Brock, I said, can I get Brian's phone number, Jim? Can I get his number? He's like, yeah, man. So I go, how many of you had this happen to you? I go and I put in my phone and I'm getting ready to text Brian and I'm like, oh, damn, I've already texted this guy before. I've already had him in my phone. And so we've mutually known each other for 2 years, but to be able to get to know you more about you and your family and all the work that you're doing and the environment that you're in, man. It's a pleasure to meet you and to meet you in person here in a couple of days. So thank you, man. Kind of give us a 10,000 foot overview of the people who don't know you.
Sure. So, as you mentioned, I live in Dallas, Texas. I'm a dad. I'm a keynote speaker, trainer, and coach. And I kind of stumbled into the career that I'm in, and that is in 2010, I met the expert in the world on who basically traveled all around the world to teach people how to understand others based on their resting facial features. So, as soon as I said that, everybody goes, "Oh, I love the show Lie to Me." So do I, but that's micro expressions, and that's Paul Ekman. Unfortunately, he just passed away about a month ago. But that was the guy that taught micro expressions. And what are micro expressions? They are what are the quick reactions we have that we can't control that kind of tell you what's really going on with people's faces. But what this is something that goes all the way back to the Greeks, and that is they've been studying people based on their facial features to understand how do people take in information, how do they process information, how do they want it delivered to them. So there's over 150 different features on the face. Every single feature tells you just a little bit about someone. And much like fingerprints, no two faces are alike. And people go, identical twins. Yes, but even identical twins had different life experiences. And so it's based on the study of the 43 muscles in the face. The mind creates movement, movement creates muscle. So our faces are constantly changing from the minute we're born to the minute we pass. And our faces tell everyone else how to talk to us, but we weren't really formally trained in it.
Damn.
Yeah. I know
It
it's a
just
lot,
like
right?
when I hear that, when I get to hear it and then I see him do it, it's just like it amazes me on how you're able to interpret that at such a short period of time, and it does make a difference in the sales side of things. I feel like Justine, it's like a secret weapon that Brian has.
yeah, for sure. You kind of sit back and I kind of like am like that too. I'm very outgoing, but really I will kind of sit back and watch people's interactions, kind of
Mhm.
feel the room, right? I think I'm more of the type that feels on energy versus maybe just those facial expressions. So I'm excited to learn about this because if I put my energy with the facial expressions, I feel like I'm going to be like unstoppable.
100%. And I think that
Yeah.
was one of the key ingredients, Brian, that that you bring to the table. But before we get into it, to keep everybody like excited about like a secret of what
Yes.
more in detail of what you're talking about. You know, Justine, one of the things that we talk about are defining moments, things that make an
Right.
impact in your life. And we are the guests that we have on here, Brian, are moments in their life where you're going to relate to somebody this morning who might be going through a hard time, might be going through a great time, and
Mhm.
next month they might be in a situation. Walk us through maybe a defining moment in your life, a figuring out moment, Brian, that you had that you wouldn't mind sharing with us so our audience gets to know a little bit more about you and the person you are when we see you in Nashville.
Sure, I'll give you two. One was in 2010 when I met Mac, the gentleman we talked about earlier. I went in so skeptical that this guy ruined my dinner plans, and I'll explain the story more in Nashville. But this guy ruined my dinner plans, and I showed up at the event to prove he was a fraud, and I couldn't do it. And it just opened my eyes up to how many things are out there to help us relate to people that we have no idea exist. And so I bought his book. I started studying with him. He lives in Fort Worth. I live in Dallas, Texas. Twice a month, I do go to these group trainings. And I thought, I still don't know if I believe this stuff. And I would start traveling with the book. And everywhere I went, I would lay the book out and people's human curiosity kick in, go, what's that book about? I go, well, I kind of think this guy's full of crap, but I took his course. Can I ask you questions about your face? And I did that to give people full permission that they didn't have to agree. And what I found was it wasn't 100%, but it was in the high 90s. And I'm like, holy crap, I can use this.
Wow.
And so I can go and look people up ahead of time, LinkedIn, social media, you name it, and just pitching my product. And when that's what really changes things is when you learn to focus on other people, it completely changes everything. So that's one part. And then I'll tell you one that that was been a struggle in life. And that was my divorce was finalized in April of 2022, and I was fired in November of 2022. So 2022 was a whole lot of things going on, but it was the best thing that happened because I was in a job I hated because the money I made. And I started speaking on the side. I started speaking in 2021. Well, I started speaking in 2019. And then, this little thing called COVID shut us down. We couldn't go anywhere, couldn't talk to anybody, couldn't do anything. So I ended up, it was the best thing that happened because I didn't want to quit because I was raised with that mindset of, oh, you got a good, safe corporate job. You should stick with it. And they made that decision for me.
Right.
And I gave myself a day to be pissed off because of how it went down, a month to take off because I used to work ridiculous hours, travel all over. I was not in control of my life at all. And I had been doing something I hated for 2 years straight. And I'd been there 21 and a half years. So it wasn't like it was just, oh, okay, that's it. This was my identity to a degree. Luckily, I
Sure.
started speaking before that. And then I gave myself, a day to be mad. Then I took the month of December off to spend with my daughter because at the time she was, let's see, 2022, she was 5. And so all the things I could never do because I was stuck on Zoom calls and I was doing all these things I got to do with her. And then I started speaking in 2023 and that was my full-time job. And look, it's a struggle some days that, speaking is one of those weird things because the minute you're done is the minute you're fired, so when you're done speaking, you have to search for the next thing that's out there. But I love it because I used to be told to be in rooms that I hated, and now I'm paid to be in rooms and I love it. The same rooms I used to pay to be in, pay me to be there now. And you don't have to be a speaker. It can be anything you want. You just need to look and go, life is short. Am I doing something that makes me happy or not? And it's no different than, well, just stick with it, whatever. Listen, I had a daughter and kids pay attention. And what are you teaching your kids? So if I came home miserable every day, complain about my job every day, she thinks that's what life is supposed to be. And that's one of the things that really changed it for me was most of the decisions in my life have been based on what am I teaching my daughter?
Damn.
So important. So
Yeah.
important. You're
I,
so right.
I got my notes here. Justine, what was one note that you had? And then I'll share with you a couple of my notes that I took what Brian said.
I really respect the fact that you took your year of 2022 that most people would have just felt completely defeated. And you took that time to really find out what resonated for you, what was important to you, and then you went and implemented. But you also took time for yourself
Mhm.
before jumping in. And I think that's so, so important to really look in and define what your happiness is going to be without letting anybody else's thoughts, opinions weigh on that. And I think that that's so very important in trying to define your future. And I'm so excited to hear more from you.
You know, it's funny, Justine. I wrote down that exact same thing. I even circled it. And guys, if
Yep.
you didn't catch this is why I take notes. I don't care where I am in the country. I take
Mhm.
notes on these speakers because they give you a nugget that you can use at some point in your life. You don't know when, but he just gave us a formula. He took one day to get pissed, be upset, victimhood, woe is me, the
Mhm.
world's out to get me. You're allowed that. People feel like, oh, you can no, you can get that, but you got to put a time stamp. You got to put a
Right.
measurable to it. So he gave one day. And then he gave himself 1 month to figure himself out.
Yeah.
And Brian, like, and it looks like you wanted to say something on that, but like that formula is very positive and very like strong.
Yeah. Well, pity parties happen, but guess what? Every party has to end, right?
Right.
Right. You know, it's something really funny here, all just speaking of parties. The new year down here, still at Times Square, the graffiti is still like floating around. Like they have not been able to pick up all the graffiti yet. So like you're like walking around, it's like snow. I'm like, oh, it's New Year's again, Brielle. So it's kind of funny how you said the party.
Yeah.
Um, I want to. Oh, not graffiti. What is it, Brielle?
Uh,
Confetti.
confetti,
Confetti.
confetti. So
Confetti.
I
Sorry.
was actually, I put a 3 in the chat earlier. I was there probably 15 years ago. We bought these passes that they took you right into Times Square. You went to a restaurant. They had hors d'oeuvres and everything. They walked you out at 11:45. We watched it all drop, the confetti, everything, and then they took you back inside. It was the best thing because other people had been standing in line for 8 hours, no food, no drink, no bathroom. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you guys. I'll tell you guys a little hack later on a New Year's party I learned while I was at this hotel.
Yeah.
But I want to write down that if you're taking notes, this is what Brian said, and Brian, you can elaborate on this. But this that you said right here, because so many W-2 employees, I was in that because I was a school teacher for 12 years.
Hmm.
But you said this, I got paid to be in rooms that I hate, and now I get paid to be in rooms that I love.
Hmm.
And I think when you find what you love and what you're passionate about, Les Brown says this, the money will follow.
Yep.
How did you go through that transition, though, Brian, of going through that process? Because it wasn't like, okay, here I am, I arrived, I lost my job, I'm going through a divorce, I got all this stuff taking place. Like, you know, you are a human being. You
Hmm.
have a gift of what you know, but at the same token, when you're looking in the mirror, walk us through how you went from that hate to love process.
Sure. I had started speaking in 2019. So going through corporate America, my background was introvert on the help desk. Then I became an installer. Then they were like, well, if you're going to install it, you have to train everybody there. So I became a corporate trainer. And then they're like, oh, you'd be good in sales. I'm like, I don't want to go to sales. That's sleazy. And they're like, nope, you're a sales engineer now. I'm like, oh God, okay. So, and then I did so well, they said, okay, now you're a salesperson. I'm like, oh crap. Um, so it just kept going. Then I became a sales associate. Then I became director of sales. Then worked my way up to a regional vice president of sales. And it was
And you know
all,
what they were doing to you? Not to interrupt you,
yeah,
but guys, listen to this. They were telling him what he was going to do. Did
correct.
you guys catch that? Like they were telling him, how many of you are getting told what to do? How many of you want to live a life of freedom, live a life of financial abundance, live the life that you want to live? And this is the like laying into this all. I'm just trying to help give you hints on what he's saying right here
Mhm.
behind the scenes, because that they were telling him, like, oh, Brian, this is what we need you to do next.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh,
Brian.
and I'll double down on that. I loved being the director. I think it was director was the title before I went to regional vice president. I got to go visit my clients. I still did presentations. I was involved in the day to day. And an RVP or regional vice president retired. And they're like, Brian, you should apply for this. I'm like, actually, I like just not really managing people. I like going visiting customers, like being on the road. And everybody's like, no, no, you should do it. And I sold my soul for 50,000. And the minute I said yes was when regret started to sneak in right then and there. And
Mm.
all of a sudden I went from on the road, in front of people, getting feedback from the field to 8 hours of Zoom calls a day. And I was miserable because I used to go, I did a post about this the other day. I like to work from coffee shops because if I work from home, guess what? I'm an army of one. And so I go to coffee shops just to be around people. I don't even have to talk to anybody. But I couldn't do that because there were so many Zoom calls and we had to mute, unmute, coffee shops are loud. So all of a sudden, I literally, and this is going to be ironic, I used to sell technology to jails and prisons, and I put myself in a prison, all by
Mm,
accepting that position.
Wow.
damn, that was good. That was good right there.
Um,
So I know. Go ahead, Brian.
yeah, let me answer the second half of your question. You know what? As I had to believe in myself and live off 401k for an entire year. Because when you go into the speaking world, guess what you don't have? It's like a college graduate. You can have a degree, but you don't have experience. Well, people don't hire without experience. So all of 2023 was speaking for free, where I paid my own travel to go out there and get exposure. And trust me, plenty of people are like, you should go back to corporate America. You know, you can make easy money, you can do all these things. But I knew that's not what made me happy. I'd
Right.
spent 45% of my life in corporate America doing, like you said, being told what to do. This was the first thing I loved what to do. And I had to believe in it when other people were trying to talk me out of it on a regular basis.
Mm. Amy Kane,
Think
you listening, Amy Kane?
right. I was just about to say that it's so important because most of us that are on this call, we're all entrepreneurs in some way, shape, or form. And we've all had that thought, maybe we should just go back. It would be easier to go back. I can have more consistency. But you know what? Each and every one of us are on this call because we all believe so much in ourselves. And that's why I love these calls because we're consistently hearing people's raw stories on how they push through those hard times. And you're exactly right. We could all take the easy way out and go back to that corporate America job, but we're all here because we're making a difference. And that's what I love so much about this group.
To back that, I literally January, I'm like, maybe I should just go back to corporate America. Like, if you're
Mm.
an entrepreneur and you don't have that thought, there's something wrong. You're
There's
kind of
something
doing
wrong.
this. Yeah,
Damn, I've been thinking about it a lot these last 2 weeks.
yeah,
Trying to
exactly.
do everything. I'm just like, what am I doing to myself? And that's why yes, the speakers are amazing. And when you see them on the stage, you're going to listen to them and everything else. You're going to take notes. But really, where you learn, where you get to dive deeper and be intimate, is on the breaks, on lunch. Like Brian's speech all is done purposely before lunch, so you can really make him not eat because he's gonna be like, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
like feed him sometime other time because he's not gonna eat. Because
yeah.
the point is for you to engage with him. And I asked him, and he said, Brock, that is perfectly fine. He's like, I prefer because I want to help people on break, on lunch, at the happy hour, at the different. That's when you get to have intimate conversations to learn a little bit more about it and get the details of whatever it is that he's got going on. And so, Brian, I want to thank you
Yeah.
for doing that and to sacrificing. I mean, guys, we like to eat, but like for you to be like, hey, man, let's do it before lunch so I can help more people on break and on lunch.
And we talked about it. Why before lunch? Because the skills that everybody's going to learn, they can use on everybody in the room. And the best thing is what they're going to learn. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a tactical speaker. You're going to be given tactics that you can actually use the minute we're done. And then when you break for lunch, you're going to have a whole new way to interact with everybody. That's why we
Nice.
chose the time slot that we did.
Yeah. Everything's done for a reason, every
Yeah.
single little detail. When I put an event together and I integrate with these people, they give me information like, hey man, how about this? What do you think about it? I'm like, yeah, that's a really good idea. We should do that. So lunch is even that second day, an hour and a half. So you
Yeah.
have more time to engage with people because that's when the learning's done. And so I know Justine and I are excited. Talk to us or give us like a quick little taste the ice cream type of thing for those that are thinking about because you still can drive all. I told you yesterday I drove 12 hours to be in Michigan. You still can drive. The hotel fees are not very expensive. We just opened up an Airbnb. You can get with a couple of people to make it very reasonable and cheap to be able to be here. We got specials going on for the ticket. But Brian, tell us a little bit about like why people need to be in the rooms to
Sure.
listen to what you're going to be presenting.
So you were reading my mind. Um, they're going to learn about you is going to be one of the things. And this is what we're going to teach everybody is how you can even just go look up people's LinkedIn profile and their face tells you how to talk to them. So everything on this picture, the chameleon eyebrows, Einstein lines, the no upper eyelid, all those things tell me how to prepare
Wow.
to talk to Brock. And that, look, here's the funniest thing.
Let me
Brock and I
see
have never met
this.
in person. We were supposed to in 2023 and we weren't able to. But the way that you can do is when I say prepare your presentation for the person and not just pitch your product, because you
Right.
can go and look up people on LinkedIn and you don't have to know every single one of these, but people are going to learn this much detail about somebody just from this portion of their face, how to understand people on a completely different level. And the reason that's important is we live in a day and age where this is more important to most people than the person in
Mm,
the room. You know, Justine is there in a coffee shop. I guarantee you,
Mhm.
if we just watch the people in the back, they order and then they get on their phones, they don't talk to anybody. And some people don't even look up at the person taking the order, like, yeah, I want a venti, this, and da, da. And they don't even look at the person. Well, that's one side of it. But you also have to look at younger generations. I don't know if you're familiar with what they're called the millennial stare. And that is they've spent so much time with devices and not people that they're going into the service industry and they're like, thank you. And they just
mm,
stare. They don't know to smile. They don't know how to interact. And so I'll give away one of the slides. 30% of jobs, so up to 60% of tasks will be automated by
mm,
2030 with AI and automation. What that means is up to 30% of jobs are gone. That's up to
Mhm.
800 million jobs by 2030 are gone. Now, the other jobs that are still there, the other 70%, guess what? You're going to make less because companies don't have to pay that top tier salary anymore.
Right.
However, people that learn soft skills, a lot of what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to recommend books throughout this because I'm a huge book nerd, and I think if a book's helped me, it should be able to help you too. So a few of the books you'll see examples of is like The Light Switch here. We're going to talk about that. I just got done reading Chase Hughes's book, 7 Minute X-Ray, great, or 6 Minute X-Ray. And then we'll even talk about like the book that I learned from. So there's going to be a QR code that people can look at that it has absolutely nothing but the resources that have helped me that can help them because AI can't be in the room. AI can't read another person's reactions. AI can't shake a hand. So I use AI in my everyday business. If you see my videos, you see the social media, everything, AI is what cut it up for me. But we
mm.
need to learn and develop
You're
people
still the
skills.
person behind it. You're still
Exactly.
the person behind it. People ask
Yes.
me all the time about my social media. I don't have anybody doing my social media. It's me. And
Mhm.
that's why it does well. It resonates. You're resonating with a person. And you're exactly right. The people that can learn how to be a person and be relatable,
Yes.
they're going to be unstoppable,
But
100%.
there are studies or beliefs right now. I just got done watching a 3 day AI summit. And what they're saying is you have a year and a half to 2 years to get on social media, get in front of the camera, because everybody's going to be using AI clones. You have
Yep.
to establish your personal brand right now before it's just AI talking to AI.
Mm, mm.
So you need, to Brock's point, you need to be in the rooms. And I'm going to say something that's sacrilegious as a speaker. You need to be at events to meet the people who are in attendance, not necessarily the speakers. You can Google me. You can
Absolutely.
find me on YouTube. You know, you can find my stuff. You can buy my courses and never leave your couch. But what you're missing is the other 99 people in the room that could be your business partner. They could be, you know, your relationship partner. But you have to get out and meet like-minded people. If there's anything that COVID taught me, right, when we had to sit and pick and choose who do we hang out with, we can only hang out with so many people. It was
Right.
how much was I on default where I just hung out with people because I met them years ago versus when we could only hang out with a few people, I started looking at those relationships and going, does it serve me? Am I serving them? Or is it
Right.
just we were, you know, it's a proximity thing? You need to be in rooms with people who are on your same wavelength, especially as entrepreneurs, because all the 9 to 5ers, and I was one for 21 and a half years. So I'm not talking smack on it. It was my life for a very long time, but they can't understand your struggles, your strife, or how to help you succeed because they're just going for the next promotion, not keeping their business alive. They don't know, you know, they've got a marketing department, a sales department, or whatever you do. But when you're an entrepreneur, you have to figure it all out. And the
Mm.
best thing that you can do is twofold: get in rooms like this because there's somebody who's ahead of you that you can learn from, but then there's somebody who's below you that you can teach. And teaching is learning twice because you have to be able to explain what made you successful to somebody else. And then those epiphanies kick in that help you get to that next step.
Damn. I can't wait,
Very
man.
true.
I can't wait. Guys, It doesn't seem possible. It's already 8:46, 7:46, 6:46, depending on where you are in the country. Guys, put some fives in the chat. Put some fives in the chat. If you are coming to Nashville, that you're excited, put a five in the chat. If you were able to take something from, I just love my little, I didn't even know my face over there. I got some eyebrow things going on there. I
I
just,
cannot wait. So I am so pumped to learn about this and the fact that you did post Brock's face and outlined what you
Yeah.
actually look. I'm like, oh dang, I'm gonna feel really red.
Uh, and that's why I'll give it away. But there's going to be a picture of me at 18 and versus 38 because I put my
Mhm.
face up because all of a sudden nobody wants to look at me anymore. I'm like, all right, let's get this out of the way. But yeah, we're going to talk about really just we're all on Zoom, right? And so to Brock's
Mhm.
point, I teach body language, statement analysis, but decoding faces is my specialty. And right now, what does body language matter? I can't see Justine's arms. I can't see is she wearing pants? Is she wearing a dress? Whatever. And so body language is out, but faces are always here. And we're even going to talk about a very simple hack on how to increase your effectiveness over Zoom. So we're going to cover how to build those relationships with this much space and what can you understand about other people? How can you make them feel more comfortable? But when you start doing this and you actually focus on the other person, people can feel it.
Yep.
And that's what makes all the difference in the world.
amen, amen, amen. Man, I can't wait, Brian. Guys, if you're still thinking about Nashville, Grace, put the link in there. We're still gonna do the 2-for-1 special. The 2-for-1. Bring a friend. You get the 2-for-1 for you to come out here. It's always fun to come with friends. Get somebody into your office. Get somebody to be like, hey, we need to get to this. I've been listening to this guy. He brought this guy Brian on. Justine's going to be there. There's just going to be amazing people. He talked about being in these rooms. All you can't afford. It's not so much you can't afford to go. It's you can't afford not to be able to grow your business, to grow what you're going to be missing. Because that I was telling Brielle here today. She was telling she doesn't like to read and she doesn't like school. I said, here's the thing, Brielle. Whatever you learn, nobody can take it from you, no
Right.
matter what happens. So, guys, I appreciate you so much. Justine, Brian, thank you so much. Thank you for being here, brother. Guys, if you want to get in touch with Brian, we got all his stuff in there. He's throwing some links in the chat. We're going to leave the screen open for another minute or two after we close out. Click on those links. Go to some of those books that he wrote down. I'm already wrote down the light switch and the 6 minute. Go into those things. Take a look at it. Come get yourself to Nashville in some capacity in some way. Brian, thank you so much. Justine, close us out because
Absolutely.
all the speakers will be here tomorrow. For all those who can make it, we're going to be all here tomorrow as our last Friday before we get to Nashville on Sunday, before we get to the hockey game. Justine, close us out, girl.
Happy Thursday, you guys. If you have not gotten yourselves into these live events truly change lives. It changed my business in 2025, and I cannot wait to see where 2026 goes. Y'all get in these rooms. Just as Brian's point, it's not always just about the speakers, but it's about the people and the connections that you make. So y'all do your best to be there. Message Brock or I, we will help you figure out a way to get you there. So we hope to all see you there. Y'all have an amazing Thursday, and we will see you very soon.